So, as I mentioned earlier, trademark registration is a territorial process. So you're going to have to think about which territories do you actually want to register your trademark on? Where will you be selling or providing your goods and services? So in New Zealand, as I said, that was via the IPONS process. But if you're looking as a New Zealand company, or indeed any company that's based overseas, to register your trademark in a country that's not your home country, well, there's two basic routes that you can take. So there's something called the Madrid Protocol. What this means is that New Zealand trademark owners can file what's known as a base application in New Zealand, or if you're based, for example, in Australia, that's where your home country is, in Australia. And then you can use that base application to file a Madrid application and designate one or more overseas jurisdictions where you also want to seek protection at the same time. Now, each of those jurisdictions also have to be Madrid Protocol members. Now, alternatively, you can file what's known as nationally, i.e. via a local agent. Same as if you're filing in New Zealand via IPONS, you can file directly with that local country's intellectual property office. You may choose to do this route where the country isn't part of the Madrid Protocol, so you have no other option. Or there may be some specific requirements that just make it a more practical approach, or there may just be another reason. Which sort of leads to, well, how do you pick? Do you go via the national route, or do you do the international registration via the Madrid Protocol? Well, if we look at a Madrid Protocol option, this could be quite cost effective rather than using agents to file in each local country, depending on the number of jurisdictions that you're wanting to seek protection in. If you're going to go for any number of jurisdictions, but for example, say there's 5 to 10 countries that you just know that you're going to be launching in those, so you may want to file right now at the same time. This is an easy, cost-effective way to do so. This also sets up an easy process to add on jurisdictions later once you've already got the process started. But it can also be a much slower process because you have to go through the multiple steps. You have to have your base application in New Zealand, and then the applications are still examined locally by each local intellectual property office, and so may be subject to opposition or any other issues that may arise. And at that stage, we may have to engage a local agent to assist. If you look at the national approach, something there may be a benefit there is you can sometimes get free advice from an agent. They may be willing to, give a little bit of help of defining your goods and services, or if there's a particular documentation required that needs to be notarized or legalized, they'll be able to give you the guidance on where to go. They could also help with pre-clearance searches, and there's also often, not often, in some instances, it's a quicker route to registration. However, it is likely to be more costly, partly because you're having to engage a local agent and they will have their own fees on top of the fees from the intellectual property office, but also because you're just not going to be able to get that bulk discount that you may achieve from going via the Madrid route and designating multiple jurisdictions at the same time. So which way do you go? Well, you're going to have to weigh up the benefits and negatives in your particular circumstances. What are you after? Do you need world domination cheaply? Then you might want to go for Madrid route. But if you need something quicker, or to be confident that the process is going to go very smoothly, or as smooth as possible, or there's particular tricky documentation, then you may just want to go to each of the countries and get a local agent to advise you exactly what you need to do. If you have any questions about that, as a local agent, we can also help be that middle person between the national agents and help smooth the process through as well. Which of course leads to where you might want to register. Jason?
Thanks, Rachel.